your patio, backyard, and beyond. These savings won't last, so don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance now through May 25th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Live from Upper Lafayette, this is ESPN 1037 KLWB Carencro Lafayette, KLCJ-FM Oak Grove Lake Charles 1041, a Delta Media station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
LSU baseball will live to fight another day after beating Oklahoma 6-2 last night in the first round of the SEC tournament. Gavin Guidry started on the mound in place of William Schmidt for the Tigers and went 2 1/3, giving up 1 run on 3 hits and earning the win. Now LSU will go again tonight, and it'll be against the number 6 seed Auburn Tigers. First pitch is tentatively scheduled for 8 p.m. in Hoover, and you can listen to it right here on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles. The Louisiana Raging Cajuns made a statement win yesterday over Marshall, 11-1 in 7 innings in the Sun Belt Conference Tournament. Next up, the Cajuns will go again this afternoon, and it'll be a rematch with last weekend's opponent, Coastal Carolina. First pitch is at 12:30 in Montgomery. A 2-run homer in the top of the first off the bat of Isak Paredes was all the Astros needed to take a 2-1 win over the Minnesota Twins yesterday evening. The rubber match of the series will be this afternoon, and it'll be Mike Burrows for the Astros going up against Joe Ryan for the Twins. First pitch is at 12:40 p.m., and you can listen to it right here on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles. Also in some news for the Astros, pitcher Lance McCullers Jr. was slated to start yesterday, but was scratched that afternoon and placed on the 15-day IL for right shoulder inflammation. And the New York Knicks rallied back from a 22-point deficit in the fourth to take a 115-104 overtime win over the Cleveland Cavaliers in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Jalen Brunson had 38 points on the night, with 15 coming in the fourth quarter alone. I'm Blake Purser, and you're listening to ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, your home for the LSU Tigers and the Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. Dynamic duos are nothing new to Louisiana sports fans. Breeze and Colston, Burrow and Chase. And here in Acadiana, we have our very own dynamic duo.
You're beautiful.
It's the big, bald, bearded, and beautiful one, Raymond Parch III.
I'm sexy and I know it.
And the man with the best head of hair in sports talk radio in Louisiana and Mississippi, James Meche. Here is RP3 and Meche on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Welcome into this Wednesday edition, albeit a condensed edition of RP3 and Meche. I am the big, bald, beautiful one, Raymond Parch III, better known as RP3. I'm joined, as always, by the producer extraordinaire, the LAB award winner, and the man with the best trash stash in sports media in the states of Louisiana and Mississippi, and soon to be Yogurt U champion, James Meche. Good day, sir.
Good day, Raymond.
We don't have the full 2 hours today, but we're going to give the people out there, our loyal listeners, we're going to give them 2.5 hours of goodness in a condensed time frame. That's what we're going to do.
2.5. Wow. Okay.
It's what's going to happen today, James Meche. Are you prepared for that?
I guess we're going to fit 2.5 hours into an hour and 10 minutes?
Yeah, we are.
All right.
Yes, we are.
All right.
Yes, we are. An hour and 10 minutes of amazing sports talk radio is coming up. We only got one guest today. That is our buddy Hunt Palmer from LouisianaSports.net. We'll talk all things LSU with him coming up at 11:30. We'll also recap the Eastern Conference Finals Game 1, which was a doozy of a ball game. Paul's little team, give them credit, they came back. They also went after and attacked James Harden.
As you should.
As you should, and that proved to be extremely smart decision by Coach Mike Brown. As they attacked James Harden, his offensive game went into the toilet. The Knicks rallied back, and the Cleveland Cavaliers experienced one of the all-time choke jobs in NBA history. We'll recap that for you coming up later on in today's show. We'll also unveil our poll question of the day, which that'll be coming up here shortly. Plenty news to get to, and I want to touch on a few things before we dive into today's specials, because we have a condensed show, but there's a lot to get to. It was announced earlier today that the New Orleans Pelicans and the San Antonio Spurs are going to play regular season games in Paris and in Manchester in 2027. That was announced officially by the association. Spurs and Pelicans are going to face off on January 14th in Paris and then January 17th in Manchester. So, interesting. First time Pels have been overseas in a while. So that is going to be happening. Also, reports are coming out courtesy of John Rothstein that the Houston Cougars and the LSU Tigers men's basketball teams are finalizing agreement to meet next season at the Toyota Center, according to multiple sources. Not surprised by this. For those that don't know, McNeese has a relationship with the Houston Rockets, so much so that the Rockets in years past have come and actually practiced at McNeese. Okay, as they ramp up for the season. Obviously, Will Wade is the former McNeese head men's basketball coach. Here you go, right? We know how much Houston is important to recruiting for football. It's also probably something that Will Wade wants to make important for men's basketball. Agreeing to play the Cougars in the Toyota Center where the Rockets play is a big deal. You're not playing Houston on campus. You're playing there inside the Toyota Center where the Houston Rockets play. So that's being finalized. That was courtesy of John Rothstein. That was earlier today. So plenty to get to. That's just a little bit of it. Jason Kidd is out as the coach of the Dallas Mavericks. That happened last night, correct, James? The new Mavericks president is someone that Jason Kidd kind of trolled and made fun of back in the day after a playoff series. And because he was on the other side with the other team. Not surprised that they've turned it over to a new GM that did not hire Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd is very polarizing. He rubs people the wrong way, his own teammates.
Yeah, he's got a history for sure.
He has a long history of teammates and teammates' wives and girlfriends and front office people. It's messy. Jason's messy. Okay, so not surprising, especially after the year that they had, that they're going to go in another direction, so to speak. So plenty to get to. Still waiting on an update as well with the Houston Astros. They released a statement yesterday saying that they had announced that Lance McCullers Jr., their old man on the pitching staff, that they were hoping would help solidify it and stabilize it with all the injuries they had. That hasn't happened. McCullers has pitched actually very poorly this year. They made the announcement, this was yesterday at around 4:15, that they announced that Lance McCullers Jr. had been scratched from his scheduled start. He was supposed to start for the Stros last night versus the Twins there at Target Field. Jason Alexander, shout out to Seinfeld, started in his place. They say they will announce further information, including roster moves prior to tonight's game. Did we get an update on that? On Lance McCullers? James?
Other than the report that they had announced yesterday, like right after our shows, I didn't see anything else.
Yes, the one I was literally just talking about.
Yeah,
yes.
I didn't see anything else.
So we didn't get an update on that if it's an injury, but it sure does sound like a release. Now, it could be an injury. So the latest update, even though it read as if it was a release, Chandler Rome is reporting that Lance McCullers Jr. was scratched with shoulder inflammation. Gross. Oh, this team is just snake bitten. Joe Espada said McCullers is on his way to Houston to be evaluated by team doctors. McCullers has been pitching through this inflammation in his shoulder for a while. That's far worse than being released. Being released means they've decided that they're just going to cut bait with the guy and it's just not going to work out. right? And now they can go out and maybe elevate somebody else or go after somebody else. And now they're saying that they yet have another pitcher that's dealing with an injury. James, you're not a big baseball guy, but even you understand if a pitcher has inflammation in his shoulder, that will prevent him and possibly impact the way that he pitches. You even understand that.
Yeah, because I would just relate it to it being a quarterback.
There we go. So, yeah. So that's a lot of the news that we wanted to make sure to share with you before we dove in with today's specials.
Yeah, the scratching happened, and then about 2 hours later, we have placed McCullers on the 15-day IL. So, I mean.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. All right, let's go and get started. It's time for today's specials.
The fellas can't help with your lunch plans, but they can serve up the top stories of the day in bite-sized pieces. Time to order up today's specials here on RP3 and Meche, presented by Southwest Volkswagen, located at 6184 Johnston Street. Order up.
Our special for today is the two of our college baseball teams that were taking part in conference tournaments yesterday and yesterday evening. Were both victorious. And let's start off with the team that played first, the Louisiana Raging Cajuns. There's been some debate even around here about whether or not they are going to get into the NCAA regional. I am of the belief that they have done enough. I think winning 2 out of 3 against App State. I think winning 2 out of 3 against Coastal Carolina. And now yesterday doing what they did, which was an impressive mercy rule victory over Marshall, is more than enough for them to get in. The difference, the thing that gives people pause, if you will, is that not everyone is exactly on board. So Baseball America has them currently in their projections in the field, but they have them as the first 4 in, which would lead you to believe that there's a possibility that they could get left out. D1 Baseball, Kendall Rogers' outfit, has them squarely in. They're not first 4 out. They're not first 4 in. They're firmly in the field. So I tend to side with D1 Baseball here. Now, there is a scenario where the Cajuns may find themselves not in the field if things go sideways. They're going to be playing Coastal Carolina here less than an hour. The team they just took 2 or 3 from. The team with the RPI in the top 20s. The team that's nationally ranked. Even if they lose to the Chanticleers, shout out to the Angry Sea Roosters, it's not going to matter. That's not going to impact their position. The one thing that you do maybe worry about a little bit, and I know some people are more cautious than others. Dawson is a far more cautious person than I am. I read the tea leaves here. I believe they're in, right? They took 2 or 3 from Coastal Carolina. Like they mercy ruled Marshall yesterday, clobbered them, got a great pitching performance yet again from their staff, and they mercy ruled the poor Thundering Herd, and they move on. I think they're in. But the Sun Belt Conference is double elimination. So if they lose today to Coastal, then they'll have to play another game tomorrow, and they may have to play Texas State. I haven't checked the most recent scores. Can you check on that, James, real quick? Who won between it was App State and I believe Texas State that was playing earlier. I'm not for sure if that game is done yet. They were playing at 9 o'clock this morning in front of, based on the ESPN Plus broadcast, no one. I think I saw a leg in the right-hand corner behind home plate somewhere. That could have been someone just asleep, a homeless person. I'm not for sure. But let's say it is a scenario where Texas State, who swept them.
Texas State is currently up 5-3 at the top of the 7th.
On App.
Yes.
Okay, so you're kind of in a spot here, right? If they win, there's no doubt that they're in. I think they're in. I think they're in no matter what happens today. Now, do you want there to be a scenario where you lose today and then you lose again tomorrow in an elimination game, whether that's against App State, who's currently trailing Texas State, or if you lose to Texas State and lose to them 4 times, that's kind of the worst-case scenario for the Cajuns. But I think they're in, and they did an amazing job getting there as they easily took care of the Marshall Thundering Herd. Matt Deggs' team moves on to play Coastal Carolina. The other team in action was the LSU Tigers. And they made it interesting. It wasn't a pretty game.
No. There were some pretty big blunders on the base paths,
which has been the story all year for them.
Yeah, which normally it's been on the defensive side, but last night you had guys like Mason Braun hitting a single, kind of letting up and deciding, you know what? It's a slow dribbler into center field. I'm going to try and turn this into 2, and then gets tagged out a second.
Hey, look, I was there in Oxford for the Ole Miss series, and I saw a guy get picked off at first, right? So
yeah, that one too.
Base running has been a problem all year. Defense has been a problem all year. Pitching has been a problem all year. Yesterday was weird for the Tigers, rather last night, as they started at 7:55 was first
8:55. The game didn't finish till 12:29.
That's correct.
12:30.
So they were taking on the Oklahoma Sooners, who are not good either. But LSU pulls out a 6-2 victory. It's their 30th win of the season to keep their season alive. Their starting pitcher, which was Schmidt, during warm-ups, literally 20 minutes before the start of the game, is complaining about tightness in his back, and he gets pulled. So they have to all of a sudden go Johnny Holstaff here. They get a nice enough outing from Fontenot. The bullpen, Guidry, did nice as well, and they got enough hits to be able to pull out the win and advance to take on the Auburn Tigers, tentatively scheduled for 8 o'clock tonight, but let's go ahead and plan for that to be more like 8:55 again.
Yeah, pretty much that is the case. And I think also with that, I was talking with Kevin earlier, and he's like, well, are these late nights going to mess with the Tigers and having to play a late night again? And to me, it's like, well, you kind of have like that 24-hour rule. I mean, once you go 24 hours anyway, you just kind of move the schedule a little bit. I don't see how a late night game going into another late night game.
It doesn't matter because you're already set.
Yeah.
You already had the time off. You played late night last night.
Mm-hmm.
Your internal clock, if you will, is already set, ready to go.
If you had to play like 2, would have been a different story. But the fact that it's at quote unquote 8 o'clock again, I have no issues with it.
I'm going to say something that's a kind of a separate issue here.
Okay.
The player of the game was Devin Sheeran. Rightfully so. He pitched extremely well. Going 3.1 innings, had 6 strikeouts apiece. I don't love the demonstrative yelling and
on
cursing on the hot mic to the dugout of the opposing team. I'm not a fan of that. I know this is that new era of Tennessee player flipping his bat demonstratively for a home run that was actually robbed. LSU player doing the same thing. The Vanderbilt pitcher was an absolute bag about his performance yesterday, where he was cursing and yelling demonstratively at the batter, and then the batter took him deep, which was instant karma, which was great to see. Like, I don't know where this is coming from. I'm all about letting kids be individuals, but can we not have punk behavior on the field? Is it really that hard? Because I know I'm the old man screaming at the clouds here. I get it. It's all cool and hip to be demonstrative and yell at the opposing dugout. And, you know, look, it's the Tennessee Volunteer way, by the way, which is stunning that we have LSU players deciding to be Tennessee Volunteers here. I guess this is just the season that we're having for the Tigers. I would have gotten my backside torn up by my father if I would have behaved that way playing baseball growing up. And I played it from Little League all the way through until my freshman year in high school. Like, that was never tolerated. And I know I'm out of touch, and that's what the young people like to do because they all want to be Bryce Harper or Tatis, and they love doing the bat flips and being demonstrative and making it all about you. Okay, but no, not a big fan of it. Especially if you're Vanderbilt or LSU and you're two of the 4 worst teams in the conference. Fairly for certain you probably shouldn't be, puffing up your chest and wanting to do the hold me back bro type of fighting style out there on the diamond because many of these kids have never even got into a real fist fight. I have no idea what that really is. But, yeah, I don't know. I would like to see that.
Calling them out.
Is that too much? Is that too much to ask? Is it too much to ask the skippers to enforce that as well and not have their ball players act like punks?
I didn't love it.
It's punk behavior. Like my daughter is here right now in my office.
Yeah.
Here at Delta Media Corp. She's out of school. There's no scenario where I would allow her to act that way, and she's 11, about to be 12 years old. So if I don't allow my child to behave that way, why are we allowing 20 and 21-year-olds to behave that way? Just saying. Like, once again, I know I'm in the minority here. I know many of you love this. It's the whole thing, okay? The whole new era. I get it. It's all about it. I get it. It's travel ball run amok. Oh, look at me. I'm a star. I have a $300 bat. Look at me. I'm so special. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. Whatever. Don't act like a punk. I don't think it's that hard. I really don't. It's not that hard to not act like a punk. That's all I ask. It doesn't matter what uniform you wear. It could be crimson. It could be purple. It could be maroon. It could be burnt orange.
Ooh,
it could be baby orange. Blue. Okay, I don't care. I really don't. Just act like a ball player. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. Because what happens is that you see the college kids, they grow up seeing the major league stars doing it. So then they start doing it, and then they keep doing it in college, and then the kids that watch them in college want to do the same thing. And then we have all these modern coaches and modern parents who are nothing but enablers. They just celebrate it as well and do all that other stuff. It just irks me to no end. It irks me to no end.
Really? I had no idea.
But Cajuns, move on. They're taking on Coastal Carolina here in less than about a half hour or so. LSU moves on as well. They'll take on Auburn tonight, and we'll see if they advance and move on. We got to take a timeout. When we come back here on RP3 and Meche, how about we unveil the poll question of the day? That'll be next.
Today's specials here on RP3 and Meche, presented by Southwest Volkswagen, located at 6184 Johnston Street.
Southwest Volkswagen, it's where car buying is made easy. Upfront everyday pricing and transparency from start to finish. Massive inventory of both new and used cars. And when I'm saying used cars, I mean World Auto certified pre-owned cars and SUVs. Southwest Volkswagen has the great selection that you and your family have been looking for. They're proud to be Acadiana's only Volkswagen dealership, and they're just a short drive from Lake Charles as well. Just hop on I-10, make your way over. You will not regret it. Once again, buying your next car feels simple at Southwest Volkswagen right here in Lafayette. Go visit them today at 6184 Johnston Street right here in Lafayette.
From Tiger Stadium to the Texas state line, ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles is your home for live and local sports talk in Southwest Louisiana. We're your official home for the LSU Tigers and Houston Astros. ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles also tackles the latest involving the Louisiana Raging Cajuns, McNeese Cowboys, and New Orleans Saints. So keep it locked right here. ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
It's May, and spring is finally here. A time of growth, renewal, and hope. And what better time to kick off Mental Health Awareness Month? Johnwell Therapeutic Services are proud to highlight May as National Mental Health Month. Remember, it's okay to ask for help. Reach out to a friend, family member, or professional if you need support. It's okay to take things one step at a time. You're not alone. Johnwell Therapeutic Services, proud supporters of National Mental Health Month.
May is Military Appreciation Month, and ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles and Nolan's Lawnmower Sales and Service in Karen Crow will be honoring our military all month long. Nolan's is locally owned and supports our military community every day. We honor and salute because freedom isn't free. May is Military Appreciation Month, and we salute you. Powered by Nolan's Lawnmower Sales and Service in Karen Crow and ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles.
It's 9 a.m. You just received a voicemail from your boss.
Hey, Janet. Heads up. We got an important meeting coming up Thursday. The big guys are coming into town, so I need you in charge of lunch, and we've got to look good.
Luckily for Janet, she knows a place, and she knows her boss will be impressed.
Honey Baked Ham can cater your next event. Delicious and freshly sliced deli trays, box lunches with sandwich, chips, and dessert. Or try our fresh salad boxes, and the perfect touch with a meat and cheese tray. Honey Baked Ham Company.
Everybody's talking about the big, beautiful bill, and it's game-changing for taxpayers. Hi, this is Kerry Bryson with the Bryson Law Firm. We've read the bill, and if you've been putting off a tax problem, it's time to call the Bryson Law Firm and get it resolved. This new legislation could give you a chance to get things straight with the IRS. Whether it's getting caught up on unfiled returns or negotiating IRS debts, there are a lot of new deductions and opportunities in the big, beautiful bill, and the Bryson Law Firm knows how to use them strategically. We've been staying on top of the tax changes in the big, beautiful bill, and we're ready to help our clients take full advantage. So if you owe back taxes or haven't filed returns in years, it's time to call the Bryson Law Firm and finally resolve your tax issues. Remember, if you have tax problems, you have legal problems. Call the Bryson Law Firm. Our headquarters are in Lafayette, and we have offices statewide. Or visit BrysonLawFirm.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm. The Bryson Law Firm. LSP filing number LA2519079.
One enjoys eating hot dogs and watching baseball. The other loves eating sushi and playing yogurt U-card games. Not sure exactly what that is, but good for him, I guess. Anyway, back to more RP3 and Meche.
Moving over from the diamond to the gridiron. We'll talk about our poll question of the day, and I found a way to get Saints into the fold. We had asked you on Facebook and on X, who do you think is more likely to return and play for the Saints next season? Of course, we're talking about some of those wily vets that have been on the Saints for the longest time now.
Yeah, we have.
How about Cam Jordan?
There we go.
Alvin Kamara? Taysom Hill? Or do you think that none of them have a high chance or really much of a chance at all at returning to the Saints next season?
I'll give my thoughts, and then you can give yours, and we'll share comments. How about that?
That's a good game plan. We usually do that.
The person most likely to be on the roster for them is Cameron Jordan. I think Cam wants to come back and play for the Saints. I think the Saints want Cam Jordan to come back and play. Mickey Loomis has let you know that there's an offer on the table for him. No one else is clamoring for Cam. They're not beating down the door and overpaying for the veteran pass rusher. I think they find a way to get Cam in the building. Taysom Hill's career is done, not only as a Saint, but I think it's done, period, in the National Football League. So I don't think that's an option. And I think Alvin Kamara is going to retire. I just don't know if AK wants to play football anymore. He has so many other interests, and rightfully so. He has set himself up for his post-NFL career, which so many guys failed to do, and he's been doing it. If the Saints were confident that Alvin Kamara was going to be back, would they went out and given a 4-year guaranteed contract to Etienne? I don't think so. Right? He's a multi-purpose back. Would they have done that if they felt confident that Kamara was going to come back. Kamara refused to be traded a year ago, said he just wants to be a Saint. So if he doesn't want to be traded, there's a very good chance that I could just see him quietly retire.
And there's a good chance. I mean, we've seen running backs do that before.
Correct. Now,
and it probably also just football probably hasn't just been as fun for him the last handful of years because not only was it the first time that Alvin Kamara ever really experienced losing, but also he wasn't used in the right role of what his skill set is.
As Kevin says, Dennis Allen used him in the dump truck formation. And also the injuries are starting to pile up a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. And so he's getting a little bit older. If you asked me, I'd say I'm 75% confident that Cam Jordan's going to be back, and I'm 50% confident that Alvin Kamara is going to be back. I am 0% confident that Taysom Hill will be playing for the Saints. That's where I stand.
I'm more of the mindset, I'm like 55% confident that Cam Jordan would come back. And I think the most likely is Cam Jordan. I am in agreement with you. I think not only because they've already got a contract on the table with him for him, it's just Cam has to decide, is he willing to just take whatever money is available? Like, how much does he really want to play football? That's what I really think it comes down to, because obviously at this point, unless there is a major injury during mini camp or training camp, Cam ain't signing with anybody else. And at that point, Cam has to decide whether he wants to play football again or if he just really believes that what they are valuing him at when it comes to monetary value, that it's too low. So it really comes down to, does he want to play football or does he want to play for whatever it takes and just take a deal?
I think there's going to be a compromise where they're going to pay him. They have the money. They're going to pay him maybe more than they should just for the 1 year, and the second year will be void. I think that's probably what's going to happen here, and that'll get negotiated during training camp. Cam could also just be like, I don't want to be in training camp. Right? He could be when we come back, we'll shift gears talking LSU baseball team. What about the men's basketball team? Essentially piling up guys that have signed pro contracts, either overseas or in the G League, to come be at LSU. We'll get Hunt Palmer's thoughts on all of that next.
This is RP3 and Meche, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
May is Military Appreciation Month, and ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles and Nolan's Lawnmower Sales and Service off I-49 in Carencro are honoring our military all month long. Nolan's Lawnmower Sales and Service owners Stacy and Dawn Benoit would like to take this opportunity to recognize all the current service members, veterans, and families. Nolan's takes pride in honoring all military personnel and first responders with special discounts on their zero-turn mowers. May is Military Appreciation Month, and we salute you. Powered by Nolan's Lawnmower Sales and Service in ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana Sports Station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit B1Bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
LSU baseball will live to fight another day after beating Oklahoma 6-2 last night in the first round of the SEC tournament. Gavin Guidry started on the mound in place of William Schmidt for the Tigers and went 2 1/3, giving up 1 run on 3 hits and earning the win. Now LSU will go again tonight, and it'll be against the number 6 seed Auburn Tigers. First pitch is tentatively scheduled for 8 p.m. in Hoover, and you can listen to it right here on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles. The Louisiana Raging Cajuns made a statement win yesterday over Marshall, 11-1 in 7 innings in the Sun Belt Conference Tournament. Next up, the Cajuns will go again this afternoon, and it'll be a rematch with last weekend's opponent, Coastal Carolina. First pitch is at 12:30 in Montgomery. A 2-run homer in the top of the first off the bat of Isak Paredes was all the Astros needed to take a 2-1 win over the Minnesota Twins yesterday evening. The rubber match of the series will be this afternoon, and it'll be Mike Burrows for the Astros going up against Joe Ryan for the Twins. First pitch is at 12:40 p.m., and you can listen to it right here on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles. Also in some news for the Astros, pitcher Lance McCullers Jr. was slated to start yesterday, but was scratched that afternoon and placed on the 15-day IL for right shoulder inflammation. And the New York Knicks rallied back from a 22-point deficit in the fourth to take a 115-104 overtime win over the Cleveland Cavaliers in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Jalen Brunson had 38 points on the night, with 15 coming in the fourth quarter alone. I'm Blake Persher, and you're listening to ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, your home for the LSU Tigers and the Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles is the proud winner of 4 2026 LAB Prestige Awards, including Best Use of Digital Media, Foot's Friday Fury, Best Live On-Site Remote for our Super Bowl Radio Row coverage, Best Promotion for our No Shave November initiative, and Radio Young Professional of the Year for Dawson Iserloh. We're proud of being Southwest Louisiana's sports station and are humbled to be recognized by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters.
Everybody's talking about the big, beautiful bill, and it's game-changing for taxpayers. Hi, this is Kerry Bryson with the Bryson Law Firm. We've read the bill, and if you've been putting off a tax problem, it's time to call the Bryson Law Firm and get it resolved. This new legislation could give you a chance to get things straight with the IRS. Whether it's getting caught up on unfiled returns or negotiating IRS debts, there are a lot of new deductions and opportunities in the big, beautiful bill, and the Bryson Law Firm knows how to use them strategically. We've been staying on top of the tax changes in the big, beautiful bill, and we're ready to help our clients take full advantage. So if you owe back taxes or haven't filed returns in years, it's time to call the Bryson Law Firm and finally resolve your tax issues. Remember, if you have tax problems, you have legal problems. Call the Bryson Law Firm. Our headquarters are in Lafayette, and we have offices statewide. Or visit BrysonLawFirm.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Bryson Law Firm. LSP filing number LA2519079.
Before hitting the road, get hooked up at Match Trailers on Bertrand Drive. Everything you need from truck equipment, accessories, and trailer parts, Match Trailers has it. Match Trailers, 1849 Bertrand Drive in Lafayette, or give Matt a call at 235-7534.
Delta Home Center and Delta Trailer Sales, your one-stop shop for utility and cargo trailers, heavy-duty dump and gooseneck trailers, portable buildings, cabins, decks, porches, fences, carports, and site-built metal shops. Located at Exit 7 in Carencro or at deltatrailersales.com.
It's the Cajun Heartland State Fair.
LUS presents the Cajun Heartland State Fair, May 22nd through 31st at the Cajun Dome. Back in action, the Louisiana Wrestling Alliance, Lafayette's #1 wrestling promotion, presents its biggest show of the year, Heartland Heat 2, Saturday, May 23rd in the Cajun Dome Convention Center. VIP and reserve seating tickets are available for purchase now, online, and at the Cajun Dome box office. It's the 38th annual Cajun Heartland State Fair, May 22nd through 31st at the Cajun Dome. For fair hours, tickets, and more information, visit CajunDome.com.
The Cajun Heartland State Fair. Go, 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 go. Fun, fun. Go, 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 go. Fun, fun. Go, 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 go. Fun, fun.
Here we go. Let's head around the state we call the Boot to find out what's happening at the collegiate athletic programs in Louisiana. This is Campus Check-In. Today, we check in with the LSU Tigers.
And we do so with our good friend Hunt Palmer, who had to stay up super late last night and watch the Tigers take on the Sooners in the SEC tournament. We're going to talk about that as well as the men's basketball team. He joins us now. Hunt, good day to you, brother. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I stayed up late, but they won. So it's, I'll take that. They haven't won a lot. So if I've got to stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning to see that, I guess I can do that from time to time.
There we go, bud. There we go. All right. Before we dive into Jay Johnson's squad, I want to talk about Will Wade. I'm going to put aside the fact that I'm going to have to do some research on YouTube and practice how to pronounce all the names that of the players on the men's basketball team for LSU now, because that's going to be some work. But are you surprised that Wade's approach has essentially been not going into the portal, which he knows how to do so well? He did it at LSU, he did it at McNeese, and he did it at NC State. And that's what we all kind of anticipated. Instead, he's put together essentially a semi-pro team of guys that have played overseas and guys that have signed contracts to play in the G League.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something I saw coming, but I do know that Will Wade is fanatical and very good at putting together rosters. And this is, in some instances, very much within the framework of the rules. Now, in a couple of instances, it may not be. But that's for the courts to decide, the NCAA to decide. He's just doing what he thinks is best to put the best team on the floor. So, yeah, I mean, I did not see this coming where he was going to add 5 or 6 guys from the international route. But with the state of college sports and the lack of guardrails, he's just doing what he thinks is best to win games at LSU until somebody tells him to stop doing that. Or in the case of last time he was here, when they stop doing that, he'll pull the reins back. But he is right now full steam ahead, and there are some interesting prospects for sure.
We saw this play out in real time at the University of Alabama with Nate Oates taking a player from the G League and then incorporating him, and there was a legal battle, and then, of course, there was the judge who was just so happened to be an Alabama grad. Well, gross on that. That shouldn't be ruling on these things. But then he only got to play for a little while, right? And then it was ruled, no, you can't play. Any danger here with a couple of these guys that Will has signed to play at LSU being in the same boat?
Yes, there are 2 that are very much potentially no-goes. Yam Madar is a guard from Israel who is 25 years old right now. He would turn 26 in the first semester of this coming school year. And that could be a red flag. There are some guidelines that would suggest you're not allowed to do that that far past your 19th birthday. So right now, he's not eligible. It's a guy who has played professional basketball since 2019. That's just a ridiculous thing to say out loud, but it's true. So right now, he's not eligible. The other is RJ Lewis, who it's not an age thing with Lewis. He's well within his 5-year window to play collegiate athletics. The problem with RJ Lewis is he was the Big East Player of the Year at St. John's 2 seasons ago. He elected to go into the NBA draft. He was undrafted, as many people thought he would be. So he signed a contract with the Jazz as an undrafted player. It was a 2-way deal, and then he was immediately dealt to the Celtics. So he was on the Celtics squad and was set for G League action and then did not play. He was rehabilitating a knee injury, and now he's kind of a man without a home. And there's a lot of college athletes making a lot of money, and he's going, well, I'm really good at college basketball. I was the Big East Player of the Year, and I'm only in my 5th year. Give me a redshirt year for this past year where I didn't play, and I didn't play in the G League, didn't play at all, and let me come back and play college basketball. But the problem is there's a rule in place that says if you sign a professional contract in the NBA, you are no longer eligible for college basketball, and he did. He signed a 2-way deal with the Utah Jazz and then was acquired by the Boston Celtics. So he is currently ineligible, though he is within his 5-year window, if you would give him a redshirt year last year because he only played 3 years of college basketball. So those 2 are very much up in the air, and candidly, I don't believe either one of them are going to be able to play for LSU, but Will Wade is going to make someone tell him that at this point.
I can't wait for the governor to get involved with that as well. That's going to be fun.
He's in Greenland, isn't he?
I think, yeah, right now. But we'll see. We'll see what happens there. My next question is probably one that you can't answer. So I'm just going to ask what your instinct and your expertise here, Hunt, is. Roster construction is. It's part gut instinct, it's part chance, and it's part science, right? You take all these pieces together, you take all these players that haven't played together, and you mix them up. And I saw what Will did firsthand at McNeese, where some of those guys had previous relationships. He inherited a few players, and then he also brought in guys that he had already recruited or already had coached. And so, but they worked at building a rapport and building chemistry and knowing how to work with one another. But it was still a challenge. Like even those McNeese teams, it took a little while for them to kind of get going, but yet they had great success. this seems to be even more of a daunting challenge because not only are you bringing in new players, you're not bringing any players back from the program. He really has no experience with any of the guys that he's brought in, and he's bringing in a lot of international guys. There's language barriers involved there as well, right? This is going to be a little bit more of a challenge than maybe an LSU fan wants to hear, right?
There certainly are challenges that you're laying out. Yes, absolutely. Putting an entirely new team together with a bunch of guys who have never played with each other and don't speak the same language in some instances is a big deal. I would imagine, and look, I have no way of knowing this, I would imagine the European guys have a pretty good handle on English. They're playing in that European league with a lot of people from a lot of different countries. Like you've got a kid in Marcio Santos who is from Brazil who plays over there. You've got another who's from Israel. You've got another who is from Senegal but grew up in Italy. And, like, all those guys are playing with guys from diverse backgrounds all the time. And I think they probably come together on English, and they probably know. But I don't know that. But, yeah, that just naturally is a bit of an issue there, and coming from completely different backgrounds than other people. But basketball's kind of a universal language, and these guys kind of will bond over that. I think the stuff on the floor is more important. And it's impossible, as you said, for me to know how these guys will mesh. I can look at their skill sets and determine what it looks like on the floor, but until you see it, you don't really know. And that's kind of one of the things I'm working through with these profiles that I'm writing for LouisianaSports.net is I put the fit in one of the pieces there, and I kind of go through how I think this person will play based on the players that Will Wade is putting around them. And there are some really strong skill sets in this group, but it is just a matter of meshing them all together.
We're talking with Hunt Palmer, host of the Hunt Palmer Show and contributor for LouisianaSports.net, doing a campus check-in for those LSU Tigers. And Hunt, we'll move over to the baseball team. You and I were there for the final regular season game against Florida, where it was a crazy end to the game, but nevertheless, it was another sweep. Not in LSU's favor. But I want to ask you about last night, especially with the pitching staff, because William Schmidt was supposed to go out there, then about, 25 minutes before first pitch, they had to cut him loose and say he can't play because of the back tightness. So I feel like we got to give huge credit to especially Grant Fonda for kind of going out there last minute and just the Johnny Holstaff approach and holding down Oklahoma's batting lineup.
Yeah, they pitched really well last night, and they have not done that at all this year, so it's a good one. He threw it great, and he was obviously fired up. They had the hot mic going in a quiet stadium, and there was some spicy language, but he was getting guys out and did a fantastic job to get them there. Now the issue arises that you're going to have to win tonight against a better team without Grant Fontenot and without Gavin Guidry and without Devin Sheeran. So that's the nature of this tournament. When you put yourself behind the eight ball and have to win it, it's really hard to do because pitching is tough to come by in a stretch like this. So for LSU, the task gets harder, and you don't have your full complement of characters. Hopefully Kason Evans, if he is tabbed as a starter, will be able to give LSU a little bit of length coming back from some arm tenderness. But last night they did pitch very well. They played a pretty good baseball game last night. Yeah, base running issues, got thrown out on the bases twice, which wasn't great. Yeah, there were a couple issues defensively, and Milo made an error. But on the whole, when you're grading on a curve with this team, it hasn't been very good all year. They did a good job last night.
Is Schmidt going to be available at all tonight, or do you think that with that back tightness, it's also going to kick him out for tonight's matchup?
Jay Johnson said last night he doesn't expect William Schmidt to pitch in Hoover, and I don't either. So I think that it's likely his season is over.
So at that point, with what you'd seen last night, especially with the batting lineup, we didn't get to see these two play each other, but how do you feel about LSU's chances with Auburn?
Not great. I mean, LSU hasn't beaten a team above 500 in league play all year. They're 0-15 against teams with an above 500 record, and Auburn went 17-13 this year and has number 3 RPI in the country and is pitching their ace tonight. So it's not a great matchup. Auburn is ready to go from a pitching perspective. They'll throw Jake Marciano tonight, probably around 75 pitches, but they've got a reliever who can come in and get multi-inning saves, and that's the guy that they'll probably turn to next. Their lineup is good. It hasn't been powerful this year. They got 3 guys with double-digit homers, but ranked 10th in the SEC in home runs in league games. But it's just complete. They got a lot of really good sophomore hitters. Bub Terrell is really, really good. Chase Fralick is really, really good. So yeah, with LSU not having a starting pitcher really today, I mean, we'll see what Kason Evans is able to give him. He only went 1 2/3 innings, and it's just 2 times back since the injury. It's an uphill battle, but you can always go out there and knock the baseball around, score 9 runs, and win a game. It happens all the time, and LSU's made a habit of it in Hoover over the years. So that's the hope. But last night was a pretty good matchup for LSU, especially with Schmidt on the mound pregame. Oklahoma's just not very good, I don't think. Auburn is good, so tonight is a stiffer challenge for sure.
Hunt, we appreciate you coming on. Keep up the tremendous work you're doing over there, covering those LSU Tigers, and we'll get you back on next week, all right?
Sounds good, guys. Thanks.
We're going to go ahead and take a timeout. When we come back, we'll wrap up hour number 1, start to get you ready for a very abbreviated hour number 2 of RP3 Meche. That's coming up next.
This is RP3 and Mesh live on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Whether you're needing to get yourself a new or used handgun to help protect your family, or get yourself a new rifle or shotgun for hunting season, or maybe you're just running low on ammo, the place to go, of course, is our friends at Louisiana Gun Shop, located at 2927 Highway 90 East in Broussard. They're open Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. until 6 o'clock in the evening, and because they're a local business, they pride themselves on teaming up with a local finance company to help you with a layaway program. In addition to that, they're also offering classes. That's right. A concealed carry refresher class is being offered on May the 23rd. This is only for people who have to renew their license. And they're also going to be offering a full concealed carry class on June 27th. That's Louisiana Gun Shop, located at 2927 Highway 90 East in Broussard. Go see them today.
ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles is your home for the Houston Astros.
And the Astros stun the Mariners.
Hunter Brown, Yordan Alvarez, and the rest of the Astros are looking to get back to the postseason. You can listen to every pitch, hit, and thrilling victory of the Houston Astros.
Incredible!
As Robert Ford and Steve Sparks will be on the call. Tune in this season for live Astros baseball on Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Did you know you can get great tasting Clear Springs artesian water delivered to your office or your doorstep at home? Clear Springs is 100% local with their own bottling facility at the world-famous Kentwood Aquifer, no chemicals added. Just pure Kentwood, Louisiana artesian water. Clear Springs Water offers delivery of 5 or 3 gallon water service with a hot and cold temperature water cooler, or even single-serve bottles delivered to your home or office. Easy to reach, clearsprings.net, then contact us tab, or 337-519-3563.
Looking for your next firearm? Come visit Louisiana Gun Shop in Broussard. We've got financing options, 12 months same as cash, plus layaways up to 90 days. With a wide selection of new and used guns, we've got something for every budget, big or small. Have an old gun collecting dust? Trade it in or turn it into cash. Need parts? We've got the largest selection of AR-15 components in the area, from springs to grips and buttstocks. Explore our ever-changing used inventory online at LouisianaGunShop.com. Louisiana Gun Shop, your one-stop shop for firearms and more.
Looking for a great midweek treat? Come to Mezcal Mexican Restaurant every Wednesday and Thursday and enjoy their sizzling fajita special. $13.99 plus tax all day long. Don't forget all day 2-for-1 margaritas. Are you planning a large party? Let Mezcal handle it. Call 337-484-3298 and Mezcal will take care of everything. That's a fajita special, $13.99 plus tax all day Wednesday and Thursday at Mezcal Mexican Restaurant, 3546 Ambassador Caffrey, next to Rooms to Go. Come taste the flavor of Mezcal.
This Mental Health Awareness Month, John Well Therapeutic Services invites you to prioritize your well-being. Hi, I'm Glenda, a dedicated therapist that provides a safe space for growth, resilience, and hope. No matter where you are on your journey, I am here for you. Whether it's anxiety, depression, or just the need for support, you are not alone. Reach out to John Well Therapeutic Services and start your path to healing today.
Need peace of mind with your estate planning? Turn to Beal & Aber, your trusted hometown lawyers. At Beal & Aber, we make estate planning simple and stress-free, ensuring your legacy is secure and your future is in the right hands. Don't wait. Schedule your consultation today at BealAbear.com. That's BealAbear.com. Safeguarding your tomorrow today.
One is known far and wide for his luscious head of hair.
We just wash the hair. You know, I work on my hair a long time.
The other wishes he still had his. Back to more RP3 and Meche.
Oh, we're going to wrap up hour one with a special guest here inside the Beal and Hebert studios in Upper Lafayette. Beal and Hebert, Acadiana's hometown lawyers. We have the illustrious one, HP1, Hattie Elise Parch, joining us.
What's up?
She just did the what's up. The what's up. This has been a big week for you. You graduated from 6th grade, wrapped up 6th grade, Mr. Meche. You know, it was a great year of karate, great year of cross country, her second year, and was track and field. Got 3.5 overall GPA for the entire year, building up some great momentum heading into 7th grade. She's officially a middle school student.
Yep, that's correct.
I'm going to be honest. That's a more impressive resume than what I had in 6th grade.
I can believe that.
You also did great with the accelerated reading this year, didn't you?
Yeah.
The little AR program, huh?
I finished the first week. My 4th quarter, I finished all of my 12 points that I need to get. Actually, I got higher than that. I think I'm at like 24 something.
Yeah, you are.
For the year, I have 94.53 points, I think. And I've read over 4,300 words. I mean, 400,030 words.
There we go. It's a lot of numbers there. She's just throwing them out. Another number is the fact that you are going to be 12 years old coming up in September. My question to you is this, since it's a serious question, HP1.
Yeah, sure.
Why are you growing up so fast?
Because I want to see your face when I meet college. You're probably going to cry all night into your pillow looking depressed.
It's 6 years away, by the way.
I'm aware of that. I've been counting.
6 years until this one is going to be gearing up for college, James Meche.
I'm already going to have to stock up on tissues for you, aren't I?
This one. She's proclaiming.
I know you're going to cry.
That I'm going to be a blubbery mess. What do you think about this,
Yes, you
James?
are.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Wow.
He's on my side with this. Thank you.
This one here.
It's just true. You can't ignore the facts, Dad.
Can't ignore the facts, Dad.
Mom's also on my side with this, so I've already told her this, and she has completely agreed to you. She's been married to you for 13 and going on 14 years, correct?
This is correct.
So I think your wife of 14 years knows the answer to this question.
14 years on Tuesday, by the way. Yeah, it'll be wedding anniversaries on Tuesday.
Happy early anniversary.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you for swinging by and gracing us with your presence. Thank you. There we go. HP1, I'm RP3. We'll come back. James and I will talk to you for about 8 minutes. We'll recap Eastern Conference Finals Game 1. It was a classic. That's next.
This is your Chiropractic Expert Minute, brought to you by Dr. Quentin Briscoe, chiropractic physician.
Hello, I'm Dr. Quentin Briscoe. Veterans, are you struggling with chronic back pain, neck issues, or reduced mobility? You're not alone, and you have options. Chiropractic care is part of your VA health benefits, and at Briscoe Chiropractic, we specialize in non-surgical, drug-free solutions to help manage your pain and improve your well-being. We are proud to work with the VA Community Care Network. Let us help you regain your mobility and enjoy the active life you deserve. In addition to the VA Community Care Network, we are also in network with Blue Cross Blue Shield and Aetna. We accept motor vehicle accidents and workman's comp cases.
To schedule an appointment with Briscoe Chiropractic, visit drqmb.com or call 337-534-0091. That's drqmb.com or 337-534-0091, because your spine deserves expert care.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like,
If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability.
Connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
Live from Upper Lafayette, this is ESPN 1037 KLWB Carencro Lafayette, KLCJ-FM Oak Grove Lake Charles 1041, a Delta Media station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
LSU baseball will live to fight another day after beating Oklahoma 6-2 last night in the first round of the SEC tournament. Gavin Guidry started on the mound in place of William Schmidt for the Tigers and went 2 1/3, giving up 1 run on 3 hits and earning the win. Now LSU will go again tonight, and it'll be against the number 6 seed Auburn Tigers. First pitch is tentatively scheduled for 8 p.m. in Hoover, and you can listen to it right here on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles. The Louisiana Raging Cajuns made a statement win yesterday over Marshall 11-1 in 7 innings in the Sun Belt Conference Tournament. Next up, the Cajuns will go again this afternoon, and it'll be a rematch with last weekend's opponent, Coastal Carolina. First pitch is at 12:30 in Montgomery. A 2-run homer in the top of the first off the bat of Isak Paredes was all the Astros needed to take a 2-1 win over the Minnesota Twins yesterday evening. The rubber match of the series will be this afternoon, and it'll be Mike Burrows for the Astros going up against Joe Ryan for the Twins. First pitch is at 12:40 p.m., and you can listen to it right here on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles. Also in some news for the Astros, pitcher Lance McCullers Jr. was slated to start yesterday, but was scratched that afternoon and placed on the 15-day IL for right shoulder inflammation. And the New York Knicks rallied back from a 22-point deficit in the fourth to take a 115-104 overtime win over the Cleveland Cavaliers in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Jalen Brunson had 38 points on the night, with 15 coming in the fourth quarter alone. I'm Blake Purser, and you're listening to ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, your home for the LSU Tigers and the Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. Dynamic duos are nothing new to Louisiana sports fans. Breeze and Colston, Burrow and Chase. And here in Acadiana, we have our very own dynamic duo.
You're beautiful.
It's the big, bald, bearded, and beautiful one, Raymond Parch III.
I'm sexy and I know it.
And the man with the best head of hair in sports talk radio in Louisiana and Mississippi, James Meche. Here is RP3 and Meche on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Oh, we only got a few minutes here of hour number 2 before we turn it over to Robert Ford and Steve Sparks for Astro Launch. And that'll be coming up in about 8 minutes right now. While we have a few minutes on this limited edition of our show, let's go ahead and get an update on the poll question of the day and get to anybody's comments before we recap Eastern Conference Finals game number 1.
Yeah, so who's more likely to return and play for the Saints next season? The options that we gave you on Facebook and on X were Alvin Kamara, Cam Jordan, Taysom Hill, or do you think just none of them have a very high chance at all? And really, it's just all the same, and it's basically none. Looking towards the comments, guys like Hunter on Facebook, it's a Cam, and it was basically the same thing with Robert. He just put more into it, saying that he thinks he'll accept the offer on the table. He hopes that Kamara would stay, but then that Hill is done in his opinion. And pretty similar sentiment when it comes to X as well. I can't really give you votes because
X is doing its thing.
Yeah, because X is doing X things. But we've gotten quite a few comments on X, and that includes Salty Steve saying, I think it's time to turn the roster over. Definitely not giving $10 million to AK. The Swiss Army knife is done, and the defense needs to say bye to Cam. Let's give young guys a shot before Philly takes them and makes them all pros. Of course, alluding to what happened with Zach Bond.
That's true. I'm not for sure who I feel like is on the roster would be leaving and could be turned into an all-pro, right?
Pete Werner feels like that could be a good candidate.
It could be. It could be a good candidate. But like who's Cam going to take a job from? They got Chase Young locked up on that contract. They got Carl Granderson locked up on that contract.
And those guys play outside backer, and Cam at this point would just still be on the down 3 line.
Correct.
So at that point, it would just be you would still roll with Godshaw. You'd still roll with Brissy, but then he would just replace probably Nathan Shepard as the third defensive lineman and just further boost the starting roles.
He got you 10.5 sacks last year, Cam did. And I'm of the look, I get that you don't want to lose lose those other guys. But Granderson and Young are locked up on contracts. You're not losing them.
Mm-hmm.
Find a way to bring back Cam. He gave you 10.5 sacks last year. Even if he doesn't perform that way, it's just another guy that you can use in your rotation. Having Cam Jordan on the team makes you better. Doesn't make you worse.
Yeah.
So I think that's the obvious answer. I think the way Kamara's played the last couple of years, being banged up and not being as dynamic as he was in his prime, I think you can substitute that production with what you're going to get out of HN. May not be the same, but I think it's pretty similar what they can do at this stage of their career, where Travis is at and where Alvin's at. I think they're about the same. Was Travis's ever like what Alvin was in his peak? No. But Alvin's not that guy anymore. That's the other part of this, right? So where Alvin's at right now is very similar to the type of production you're going to get out of Travis. So that's a wash for me. So, but I know Saints fans would love to have both of them. So keep those votes coming. Keep leaving your comments as well, even though we're going to be shifting over to Astros baseball here in a few minutes. We still love to see it and have you participate. We asked yesterday on the show, could we get a classic game in the Eastern Conference Finals Game 1, just like we got in the Western Conference Finals Game 1, and sure enough, they listened and delivered. I want to give credit to the Knicks because anytime one team chokes, the other team has to take advantage of that. And New York took advantage of that. They truly did. We can talk about all day how much the opposition, the Cleveland Cavaliers in this regard, choked and choked and choked and choked and choked and choked, and they did. They held a more than a 20-point lead, and they let it evaporate. They led even with 2.5 seconds left and still found a way to squander all of that and have the game go to overtime. And then the Knicks, kind of bullied them. Brunson was phenomenal down the stretch. They switched up James. They started attacking James Harden. It worked, and then Harden went cold. So they found the weakness in Cleveland, which was James Harden trying to play defense. They attacked him. They took advantage of it. They win game 1. That was your game to win. That was your game to steal, Cleveland, because obviously New York was rusty. The Knicks were rusty. It showed that having 9 days off impacted the way they were playing in that game last night, and you let them off the hook. I would not be surprised now if you see this be a gentleman's sweep.
Yeah, and I was leaning towards Knicks in 5 anyway, but just going back to last night, that is inexcusable what happened with Cleveland and that collapse. You could have slowed down possessions because you could tell the pace was starting to really pick up, because you can't overcome a 22-point deficit by taking all 24 seconds on that shot clock in that Knicks offense. So you got to slow down the pace and make sure that they can't keep ramping it up. Take out James Harden. And also, how dare you take it out of Donovan Mitchell's hands for the last 7.5 minutes, only give him a handful of touches?
Was that scripted that way, or did the game flow just make it go
I think
that
it
way?
just went like that, and then they just kept letting Evan Mobley shoot the ball.
So,
and it's like, why are we settling for it?
Is your best player. He's the face of the franchise. And you don't have the ball in his hand in crunch time to seal the victory. That's a mistake. Mm-hmm. That's bad coaching, and that's bad playing as a team.
You got Strus and Harden and Evan Mobley all taking up the ball and not having Donovan Mitchell touch it.
He's the best player on your
failure.
team. Best player on your team. Makes absolutely not a lick of sense. Not at all. But credit the Knicks, man. And it sure does look like they're primed to make the NBA Finals. So congratulations to them on that. That's going to wrap it up for us today. We'll be back on tomorrow. Jamarcus Fitzpatrick will join us. Ron Higgins and Jim Cozzolo. We'll have a full show tomorrow on Thursday. But that's going to do it for us. Astro Launch with Robert Ford and Steve Sparks is next.